Robbie Williams Rewind.
Welcome to Robbie Williams Rewind. We are the champions. I'm Matt.
And I'm Lucy.
And along with help from special guest fans, we take you on an in-depth rewind through the solo career of multi-award-winning singer, songwriter and entertainer, Robbie Williams.
Today we're looking at the 25th Anniversary Edition of Live Thru A Lens. So we won't be covering all the Live Thru A Lens tracks. You can go back and listen to episode 1 if you'd like to hear us discuss those.
Good idea.
We'll be covering the songs and demos that we haven't reviewed before.
Yes.
And our special guest fan is Ruben from New Zealand.
Hello, Ruben.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
Thank you for coming on. You've been a big supporter of the show for a long time, so it's a pleasure to have you on.
Absolutely. Well, having a megastar like Robbie Williams, he needs a podcast. So when I've stumbled across you probably nearly a year ago, going through all your episodes, it's just been an absolute blast. So being able to culminate that, actually being able to chat with you two, it's so cool. Can't describe the feeling. Really can't.
All the way from New Zealand.
Yeah. Off our furthest away episode, I think.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, you get the award for the furthest away guest.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm probably would I be right in saying I'm probably the only guest that's not actually been to a Robbie gig yet?
No, Robbie in Canada hasn't been to one, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's only you two.
Hopefully
Okay.
that will change.
Well, that makes me feel a little bit better at myself. Yes, absolutely.
We'll come to that.
So tell us how you became a Robbie fan.
Well, where do we begin? So I'm currently 21 years old. Let's just say I've been a Robbie fan for 2 decades.
Okay.
No exaggeration. I couldn't have been far away from turning 2. It was shortly after Escapology would have come out. My whole family, you couldn't miss Robbie, especially at that time. New Zealand was probably one of his biggest fan bases per head of population. Everyone had his albums. I just remember one morning we were at my nana's house before she was going to work. She was playing Something Beautiful on her radio. I wouldn't let her leave until the song finished. And then every single day after that, she couldn't go to work without playing Something Beautiful. That's, obviously, when you're 2 years old, 1 year old, can't remember much.
No.
That's my first memory.
That's amazing.
And then Dad, massive Robbie fan. He's for males, it's not as cool to be a Robbie fan, which makes me feel sad. But as much as he denies it, he is a massive Robbie fan too. He was much more into the swing albums. Every car trip we went on, Swing When You're Winning, no questions asked. That has to go on at some point in the trip. Sing When You're Winning too. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just trying to think back. Yeah. What would you wouldn't be able to remember much from that age, would you?
I can remember my brother coming home from the hospital when I was 2.5. When he was born.
True.
So that's my first memory.
Wow.
Because it's things that you can put a time stamp on, isn't it? That tell you how old you were. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely.
No, you're not asking the right person about memory. I get glimpses of certain memories at home, like playing with certain things or being in our first house that I got brought up in. I can sort of I have vague recollections of glimpses of things, but I can't remember my very first memory. I've got a mixture of things. I don't know which one's the first,
Yeah, Something Beautiful was a massive hit over here.
Right.
So it would have been around the time, whenever that was released, it would have been early 03.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been it. Yeah. Oh, how do I even explain it? It's pretty safe to say you probably don't know any 2-year-olds that their favourite interest would be a pop star, right?
Yeah.
Usually it's cartoons or whatever.
Yeah.
That all that stuff bored me to death. But put Robbie on the TV, my eyes are glued the entire time. I can't exactly pinpoint what it was about him, but I seriously can't pinpoint it. But the toys I play with, I didn't play with Tonka trucks like most other kids would. My toys were Robbie CDs, my dad's Robbie albums. He had to hide them away or else I'd get them out, zoom them across the floor. That was my idea of fun. And then a few minutes later, I'd be sad when I'd try to plonk it in the CD player and it wouldn't play anymore. Yeah. Oh, yeah, just... Yeah. When I think back to that age, all I think about is Robbie.
Right.
I'd bring my Robbie albums to kindergarten with me. I'd just show up with them one day. About, oh, what are these? Yeah. Yeah.
That's nuts.
I've got photos of them somewhere too. I'll have to dig them out when this episode comes out and make a big post.
Music has a particular way of anchoring memories from a neuroscience perspective. You can often remember certain periods of time or certain parts of your life when a song first played or when a song was playing. They say there's a different part of the mind that stores that. So, I can understand why that's so powerful for you, why you remember it, especially it being Rob.
Absolutely. Oh, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
So have you got a favourite song or album?
Yes. This one takes me right back to Christmas Day 2005. Tripping. It's probably not one that many people would list as their favourite, but from the way I look at it, it's got everything that I personally look for in a pop song. All the crazy amount of layers, the different instruments and everything, they're so crazy, but they all gel together so well in some way. And it's one of the only songs that I could play on loop all day and not get sick of. Like even songs like Bohemian Rhapsody to me would get boring if I listened to them enough. But Tripping could play it on loop for the rest of the time, and I'd be loving it just as much every single time. Yeah,
I love Tripping as well.
Yeah,
it's a really good song. They say it's so much variety and so layered, and it's cool.
And do you like the 25 version as well?
Yes, I was very excited to see that one make the list. Because it was a fairly big hit, so I would have been sad if it didn't make it. But yes, no, it just warm. Yeah, and whenever I see him play it live, when you post the set lists, just get a warm fuzzy feeling. It takes me right back to that day. Christmas Day 2005, before the internet, it was just dial up. Had no idea. Yeah, I would have been 4 years old. Christmas Day 2005. No idea he was putting out a new album. So then, can't put it into words. But I'm sure you would have had those days, pre-internet, maybe walking into a store, finding one of his albums on the shelf or whatever. Yeah, it's just you can't replace that. That feeling you can't really. If you could bottle it up and sell it.
Yeah.
In
fact, we were talking about it just the other day, not just about Rob, but about our feeling when we were younger and when music was like, well, it still is, but music was like extra special back in the day when we were young, wasn't it? Because you'd get really excited at getting a cassette tape.
Yeah.
Like it was just something special about opening that up and putting it on and hearing something maybe for the first time.
Yeah.
It was really
holding it in your hands.
Special, but it's
the physical item.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you got a favourite album?
That is such a tricky one. I do have a couple that I can narrow it down to. For sentimental reasons, Escapology. Mm-hmm. Just the whole album is a hit in my eyes.
Yeah.
There's no, and then the B sides that go with Escapology. Every single one of those B sides could have been album worthy. But then, what song do you take off the album to fit it in? It's just such a strong album, start to finish. And a lot of his albums are like that. Man, yeah, that one. And just recently, the Heavy Entertainment Show. Love that album. Mm-hmm. So much variety. So, you just feel the joy of Robbie and Guy being back in the studio, back at work doing what they do best together. Songs like David's Song. That'd be my favorite song off that album. Yeah. Oh, you get a little bit of everything. You can play that album to anyone, and you can guarantee there'll be at least one song that they'll like. And the deluxe edition, it has to be the deluxe edition. Some of my favorite songs on there are on the deluxe. Best Intentions.
Best Intentions. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Both said at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, Jinx.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
good.
great song.
Yeah, you could come up with reasons for any of the albums to be your favorite, but yeah, those two just. If I were deserted on an island forever and I got to pick 2 albums to take with me, those would be the 2.
That's a good pick. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And do you have a favourite video?
Favorite video? Oh, it's got to be Rock DJ. Just
Yeah.
something about a 2, 3, 4-year-old watching that. Those images stick with you for life.
I bet. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I thought it was real when you're that age, and it looks so.
Yeah.
It holds up so well today.
The effects were incredible. Yeah.
It
So
does.
good. Yeah. So I remember thinking, how do I pull my skin off? I want to do just weird things that 2-year-olds think about. But you can't look past that one. No Regrets was another one, watching at that age. Very powerful video.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time very frightening too. But
Watching that flame go all the way through.
and that last frame where he says dead.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
yeah. You hear stories from other adults about their first horror movies they watched. That would be the equivalent for me. But yeah, it's okay. It's Robbie.
So can you tell us what Rob means to you?
Robbie literally defines my childhood, the first few years of my life. I don't know how better I'd be able to put it into words. I know words can't really explain it, but just whenever a song of his pop up on the radio, even now, hearing Angels or Kids, whatever coming up on the radio now, it's just, it's, I don't want to say just nostalgic, because he's just as much current now as he was back then, but I can't put it into words. I'm sorry. I wish I had a more exciting answer.
No, we get it.
And then if you could ask him one question or say one thing to him, what would it be?
I would ask, this is a bit of a random one, but what goes into choosing the lead singles to your albums? That's a big debate. Whenever he puts out an album now and you think, oh, this could have been the first single, what would have happened if that one went as the first single? And especially albums like Heavy Entertainment Show, you could have put almost any of those songs as the first single and it would have made sense. But it's a very intriguing process that we've not really heard much about. Well, I haven't heard much about what goes into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, can I have your autograph? That would be something I'd ask.
Right. And then, can you tell us how Robbie's perceived in New Zealand? Is he still big there?
From my point of view, when he put out Rude Box in 2006, up until that point, biggest pop star in the world, no doubt. Everywhere you went, you would have heard Robbie on the radio somewhere. You would have seen his poster. You would have seen his albums in shops. I was 5 when Rude Box came out, and then it was another 3 years. 3 years in length when you're that age may as well be a lifetime. So I thought, that from my personal perspective, I thought he was done for good. I'd seen the magazine photos that Mum and Dad showing me of him like out on the golf club, retired, letting his hair out and stuff. I thought that was it. And then fast forward all these years later, would have been about... he was on Graham Norton 2016, promoting the Heavy Entertainment Show. And he was on there. And I was shocked that he was still making music went on Spotify, all these albums that I'd never even heard. There's been the odd, they've done a little bit of promotion. The more attention I pay to the radio now, one station in particular, The Breeze, they did very good promotion for his 25 album. But yeah, the promotion, it makes me sad that they could be promoting him a lot better than they are. Because I talked to a lot of other people about Robbie here, and then they have the same thing, like, what? He's still making music? I thought he retired in 05, 06. But in saying that, whenever he puts out a tour, an arena tour, or this latest tour that he's doing this year at the winery, they all sell out. So there must be a whole other audience that I'm not seeing. Potentially the older audience, maybe, who are more tuned into the radio and websites, seeing when these concerts are going out. But at least for my generation, a lot of us are surprised when we hear that he's still creating music, which it makes me so sad, because I think some of his best work has been in his later days. So I'm really hoping, I'm sure like we all are, the Better Man biopic, really hope that makes a big impact, and then everyone else does the same realization that he is still going as strong as ever, because all the work he's putting in, all the amazing songs, they deserve to be heard. And it's amazing to hear over in the places like the UK and Europe, he still is as big as he ever was, right? He's still selling out stadiums, still getting number one albums, number one singles a lot of the time.
Not singles, but albums, Yeah,
I'm
singles are a whole different ballgame these days.
Yeah, I'm sure he will get another number one single at some point. I'm sure of it. It might take a
hope so.
Yes, but that same kind of attention, he deserves that worldwide. So we can only hope that Better Man biopic does that for him. Yeah.
But you're going to go and see Robbie for the first time this year.
Yes. I think it's November 11th. And that was actually quite crazy. It's about a 25,000 seater. It's a big festival thing. Sold out in under an hour. So it proves he really still is. He has a lot of popularity over here. So maybe ignore what I said. But yeah, he's still doing incredible. Everyone over here still loves him.
Looking forward to that then.
Again, I feel like
silly question.
I feel like a broken record at this point. Words can't describe the excitement, and I don't think it will really kick in until we're there, witnessing him in the flesh. Especially this version of Robbie. He is such a well polished performer at this point, and
he's in the zone.
He is. He really is at the top of his game. He's in amazing shape. He's got the confidence. Seeing him prance around without his shirt on at the recent concerts, that is peak confidence, peak everything. Like, if you want to see Robbie, this is definitely the time to see him.
Yeah, you're going to have an amazing time.
Oh yes, as are you. I'm sure you're going to some of the Europe dates, aren't you?
Yeah. As this airs, we'll have already been to Amsterdam on his birthday. And then we're going to Barcelona as well.
Oh, fantastic. And of course,
it's currently in the plan.
Yeah, so cool. Yeah, so exciting. And he's doing some festivals in the UK later on. Will you be going to those?
Yeah, Isle of Wight Festival and Sandringham as well, which is, it's not a festival, it's a concert at a royal residence.
Yeah.
Ooh,
well, the interesting thing is that I probably would have already gone to the Isle of Wight Festival anyway. But when Lucy heard that Robbie was there, she was like, "Oh, I'm going to come to that." You're not much of a festival person, really, are you?
No.
But we're going to turn you into one.
No, you're not. I'm just going for Robbie.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I don't do festivals either, but Robbie, different story.
Tripping in the set.
Yeah, Tripping is being played in Europe.
Yeah.
Well, so far.
So don't want to get your hopes up too high, but Tripping is included. He did talk to us on his episode about the fact that he does adjust the set a little bit based on what's big in that particular country, or has been, or where that country or where that fan base started.
Right.
Because he said a lot of people started with Escapology. So hopefully it will still be in there. I mean, we heard it in Munich and it was incredible.
Oh yeah, and
so
I saw
just hoping you get to hear your favourite song.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, the video you put out for Munich, that's probably one of my favourite times he sung it. Like he's nailing everything, the falsettos. That's not an easy song to sing, and he absolutely slaughtered that song. It was a tripping.
Yeah.
It wasn't as much of a hit over here as I wished it was. I think it charted at like 20 or something. So I think the chances of something like Win Some, Lose Some, there'd be a high chance of that.
I was about to say that. Yes.
Oh. Yeah, I've seen the videos.
I think he'll play that there.
Yeah, the fan videos of him playing at the last two New Zealand concerts, they just went wild.
Right.
So, you can only hope. And it was a massive hit here. I think it was top 10, maybe even top 5.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask what the video for that was, because if it was released as a single, it must have had a video. Do you know?
I wish I could.
You were too young then.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't even born when the album came out, were you?
No, yeah. I wish I could remember a video. I think, if I were to guess, there was that Slane concert. He played it there, right? And that was filmed. If there was a video, it probably would have had to have been that, but I've never seen it.
It'd be a concert. Concert
probably
video.
I've never seen a video, sadly. And you don't hear that one on the radio here much anymore. But far out at the time, that was just as big as any of the other songs from that album. Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
That's another one, and that whole album, an entire hit, right? Like Phoenix from the Flames.
Yeah.
That could have easily been a single.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so many. Karma Killer.
It's a long way off yet. I know it's November, but obviously we'd love to hear about your first experience. Maybe we'll have to connect again on the podcast, or you can send us a video message or something from after the concert, so you can tell us what you thought. We'd love to hear that.
That would be amazing.
Cool perspective, I think.
I'll send you a video when I'm at the concert. How about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially from the winery as well. I mean, that must be quite an interest. It's outside, right?
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what it's like. I have no idea what to expect going in. Yes, I'll send you a video.
Is it all seated?
No. You get the VIP at the front, from what I'm aware. That sold out ridiculously fast. I didn't get that. But general admission, all the way, the rest of the way up the bank, it's bring your own seating, bring your own food. The only thing you can't bring is alcohol. But yeah, it'll be a very unique concert experience for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, sounds nice.
Yeah. And he's doing some similar ones in Aussie right afterwards, right? Yeah, Australia.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Yeah. Very exciting time. Very exciting.
Yeah. So have you got any other great memories or anything else you want to share?
Oh, we've brushed on quite a few of them. Robbie memories. Getting Rude Box the year after, Intensive Care for Christmas, very similar. Excitement for it. I enjoyed the album. I didn't buy into anything the press was saying about that album.
No.
Yeah.
What did you think of Dickhead when you were like
that was my favourite.
5 or 6?
Yeah, that was my favourite song on the album. But you have to be very careful. Actually, no, there we go. There's a memory right there. Robbie made me quite the potty mouth at that age. 2-year-old running around. Yeah, so Robbie got me in trouble a lot at that age. So, songs like Handsome Man, Me and My Monkey, of course, Dickhead. But weirdly enough, the songs with the swear words were some of my favourites.
Your parents must be pretty cool to let you listen to that at that age. They are
very cool, but at the same time, they closely monitor everything because they know exactly what are in the songs, so they're always right around the corner whenever the swear word part comes on, and I was allowed to listen to them, but if I started singing along to them, that's when there was a bit of a problem. But no, wouldn't change a thing.
Lovely. So should we talk about the 25th anniversary edition of Life Through a Lens?
Yes, please.
Yeah, why not? On the 13th of October, 2 weeks after the exact anniversary of Life Through a Lens's release, which was on the 29th of September 1997, it was announced that there would be a 25th anniversary deluxe edition to be released on the 2nd of December 2022.
Yes.
Just in case anybody's listening to this like years along, you know. The deluxe expanded 4 CD album is packaged in a beautiful slipcase with a full inlay booklet including lyrics, photos and credits. The original number 1 album features on disc 1. Disc 2, called Life on the Flip Side, Bonus Tracks and B-Sides, contains all the original B-Sides from the singles off Live Through a Lens, and we covered those in our 2nd episode.
Disc 3, called Work in Progress, The Making of Life Through a Lens, contains previously unreleased demos, rehearsal recordings and rare remixes. It's these songs and demos that we will discuss today. The final CD, named Life on the Stage, Live at the Forum, London 3rd June 1998, features the first full audio release of Rob's concert in Kentish Town, previously released in November 1997 on VHS format only, called Live in Your Living Room.
The 12-song debut album is also available on vinyl as a limited edition Lens Clear 12-inch, and as a box set of 7 by 7-inch singles. 6 of the 7-inch singles contain the original 12-song album, while the 7th disc features Freedom and Average B-Side. It marks the first time Average B-Side has been an actual B-Side, as it was previously only available as a CD single bonus track. Everything is also available on streaming services. The new edition helped Live Through a Lens re-enter the physical album chart at number 52 the week it came out. It did also reach number 61 on the official midweek chart, but failed to stay in the top 100 by the end of the week.
In his recent interview with Zane Lowe for Apple Music, Rob said about Life Through a Lens, "I was overwhelmingly excited about the fact I could write songs. Second day we wrote Angels, Let Me Entertain You. It felt intoxicating and liberating, especially walking away with a tape of Angels that we'd just done. Angels comes out and it does what it does, which meant that I got to write another album, which I was super excited about. The hotel came out with this white plastic phone and it was my manager to say Life Through a Lens had gone platinum. But I can't remember a lot of how that made me feel. I was ultimately numbing myself. But it's 15 albums ago. I'd done 4 with Take That, 5 altogether, so I'm 20 albums deep now, and what I remember was knowing that it felt good that I was going to be able to do another album."
Yeah.
There we go. What was your overall thoughts on when you heard this was going to be released, Ruben?
If I wasn't at work reading it, I would have been running around, bouncing around on my chair. This is something that, this kind of thing, after seeing other artists do this kind of thing, I wish they'd do it for Robbie, but I didn't expect it to come so soon. So it's, just so excited. And the first thing that caught my eye was that it was like a 60 something track box set, and that just blew me away. And the idea of getting something new that we've not heard. Because this is history right here. This launched the career of one of the greatest pop stars. Just so cool. So
it is. Matt?
Yeah, I thought it was very cool that they decided to mark the 25th anniversary in this way.
Yeah.
And I must admit, with all the other episodes we've been preparing for, I have now, but I feel as though I haven't quite listened to this as much as I would normally do when Rob releases something. So I still feel as though there's so, because we're only talking about certain tracks today. I mean, there's so much on there in terms of slightly different versions or demo versions or full length versions. You know, I feel as though I need more. Yeah, I will be delving into it more.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was very excited to hear that we were going to get 2 new songs, which we'll come to. Yes. And also the concert from the Forum, which I was at.
So cool. Oh, that is awesome. Wow.
So that's always good to relive that.
She was only 10.
I wasn't 10. I was 21.
You were 21. Okay,
Yeah.
now you're showing your
Almost.
Yeah.
age. We're nearly as old as Robbie.
Yeah. And but I would actually like to have a DVD of that concert, not
Yes.
just the CD. Because
Yes.
there's some songs available on his YouTube, but not the whole concert. So that's my plea.
Well, I think on that point, this box set shows all of the unheard tracks and recordings, and just the vault of material that the record companies, or I guess Robbie hasn't necessarily got it all, but he has somewhere. But someone's got all this stuff, and I think the fans would be really keen to hear
More.
a lot more.
Yeah.
Demos, rehearsals. I mean, that's the kind of thing we love. And I know that wouldn't go necessarily mainstream, but
For us geeks.
yeah, get it out for the geeks.
Yeah, I think that was another one of the things that first, it was like a big relief knowing that all the stuff has been, that they've hung on to all the stuff, all the demos and stuff, because they don't really talk about it much.
No.
Yeah.
It's all there
Very
somewhere.
precious.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And I did note that on CD, I put CD1 into the computer and listened to it, and it's still got the silence between Baby Girl, Window and Hello Sir, as it does on the original album.
Right.
However, on Apple Music, I looked, and they're listed as separate songs,
Oh.
and they don't have the silence on Apple Music. But if you
good
go,
thing
if you
or a
go
bad
to the
thing?
it's probably an okay thing. I don't know, because if you
it's
want
been
the
recognised
silence,
as a specific song,
well, it has.
but yeah, it's not how it was originally intended.
But if you go onto the original Live Through a Lens on Apple Music, it still has the silence. So it's only this new 25th anniversary where they've deleted the silence.
yeah, I can see why they've done that, because digital, you don't have time to wait 6, 7, 10 minutes. But to keep it true to the original and making the set, if you really want, this is the most complete document of everything that went on in this time period. So I guess they just wanted to keep it true to the original, which I'm happy about. I'm not going to, but if I wanted to now, we could sell our singles, the original album, get rid of all that stuff and replace it with this, because this is everything that all that other stuff, music-wise.
Yeah.
And Lucy, what do you think about the Super Deluxe box set?
Oh, I love the packaging, the double slipcase.
Yeah, it's something very nice about the way that slips. It's like almost like Apple packaging, when you pull it out and it goes.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's a bit like that. Yeah.
It's just a nice feeling of that.
It does. I know it's expensive, but actually, it is really well made. I think.
Oh,
so
yes.
Slipcase, and then what else do you get?
Well, and then you get you pull out the second slipcase, and inside there you get 2 more CDs, which are kind of shiny cardboard. Double gatefold, big picture across the middle from the album shoot, and then each one's got 2 CDs in.
So the one on the one inside disc 1 and disc 2 where he's jumping, I love that. It's just like insanely high in the air above everybody else.
Yes.
There's just all these weird characters looking at him.
Yeah. Oh man, and it is so
eclectic.
true to the original. The way they themed everything, all the fonts are the same as the original.
Yes,
the attention
it
to
looks the
detail.
same.
They you can tell they put a lot of effort into it. Like having it digital is cool, but you really need to have it in hand, have the actual box set in hand to truly be able to appreciate everything in the booklet, all the information. It's got everything. Everything's in there.
It is. But I did notice that on the back of the credits booklet, I don't know if you'd noticed, but Robbie's head is sort of a bit weird on that one.
Where it's like a silhouette, it's like black on blue.
Where it's got the blue. Can you see his head?
You've got to look really close.
Little sort of almost like the outside of his head has been too much of it has been taken off, edited too close, and it's like his eyes are right next to the edge of his face. Because I think that picture that they've used for that is actually on the original of that picture. That bit of his face is kind of white, like shiny, And I think in the way they've edited it, they haven't realised. I don't know. It just makes him look like he's got a pinhead.
Yeah, all the parts that would be white, they blend in with the blue on the background.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
That's fun. I'm never going to be able to unsee that now. Thanks.
Yeah,
Lucy.
sorry.
Well, yeah, she showed me last night. I'm the same now.
No, but also very minor, very, very minor detail. When you open the box set up, you get that waft of like a book smell. You just smell the quality, if that's even a thing.
Yes.
I'm smelling it now. It's very nice.
Yeah, you can tell it's quality just from the smell. So buy it.
So we've
people.
only got the
Buy
CD
it.
box set, but there is the 7-inch box set, and I know she got that for Christmas, and I believe that's very beautiful as well. Angie Redford.
Because it's bigger, isn't it? Because it's 7-inch, so
Yeah, so you get the bigger
box
pictures.
is bigger.
Yeah,
Pictures are bigger.
Yeah. Very nice.
Very cool. They didn't have to do all that kind of stuff. They didn't have to go the extra mile to do the separate vinyl box sets and all that. So you can tell they really they didn't. No stone was left unturned with this project.
Yeah.
A lot of love went into this project. Obviously, whoever made it, they would have had to have been a Robbie fan, I think, to go to this level of detail. This is for the fans. We got the songs we're talking about now. That is the main focal point. But all this extra stuff, they didn't have to do it, but they did.
Yeah, it looks good.
And they need to do more of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this sells enough to where they will do it for the other albums. Because could you imagine?
Yeah.
Albums like Sing When You're Winning, if they did a DVD, the gig in Manchester would be freaking incredible. That gig, it's on YouTube, but it's in really poor streaming quality. So it was like live streamed on the internet back in the day or something. Getting concerts like that with I could go on all day. But
they need to sort the archives. They need to start bringing stuff out from the archives.
Yeah.
Yes. But to know they have this kind of stuff in there. And from that far back, when Robbie wasn't even established as a solo star yet, really, and they still hung on to all this stuff. So it's very, very promising, very relieving to know. But this has to sell well. So please, if you're listening to this and you haven't bought it yet, you will not regret it. Buy it, and then hopefully we get more.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
Let's move on to talking about Angeles, the Spanish version of Angels.
Yeah.
Hopefully my pronunciation was good there. Sorry, Spanish fans. On CD2, it contains all the songs we talked about in our second episode with Katie, so we won't go over those again. But we didn't properly cover one of the songs on that disc, the Spanish version of Angels, Angeles. So we'll do that now. One of our listeners pointed out that the lyrics mean something different, which we hadn't realised, so we thought it would be worth looking at. It was initially included on a promo CD single for Angels in December 97, then later on Latin American copies of The Ego Has Landed. The lyrics were translated by Luis Gomez Escolar, who's composed songs for Ricky Martin, amongst others, and adapted songs into Spanish for artists like Roxette and Eros Ramazzotti. It was released as a single in Latin American countries in 1999, 2 years after it came out in the UK. It was apparently a hit there, but we can't find the figures or the chart positions to show it. So you have to take our word for it.
According to Wikipedia, it was a hit there anyway.
Yes.
But I don't know
Not
how to
always
prove
true,
that.
but yes.
Yeah. A Spanish version has also been covered by Mexican singers Euridia and Marco Moore. It was also recorded in Italian by Patrizio Buran as Un Angelo. Here's a DePaul translation of the Spanish song. So verse 1 says, "This is the law, there is an angel made for me. I met you, time went away from me, just as it came, and I failed you, I hurt you. So many years, I went through it all, without regret. I loved you without almost loving, and in the end, who saved me? The angel I want."
Ah.
Wow.
And the chorus, again, you sneak into my bones, leaving me your kiss next to my heart. And again, you, opening your wings to me, you take me out of the bad patches of pain because you are the angel that I want.
And the second verse goes, when that's failing, I don't know what to do or where to go. I trust in you and I feel you close. Thinking of me, the body leaves me to where you are. My life has changed, the angel I want. So it's interesting, isn't it? Obviously, I guess it rhymes in Spanish when it's in the Spanish lyrics.
Yeah.
It's still quite beautiful. It's still,
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's kind of weird because surely it means it's not really Rob's lyrics because Louis Gomez Esclar has kind of written the lyrics according to Robbie's lyrics, but basically he's changed the lyrics to... So it's kind of almost not Rob's song anymore.
Yeah, I've always wondered that
I mean?
with songs that are translated, because if you do a literal translation, they're not going to rhyme, are they? Because the words are different.
Yeah.
But so maybe here they just realised that actually they needed to adjust it because maybe it just sounded so odd that because it's like a term of phrase, isn't it? So when you put a sentence together. When you put a sentence together in a different language, the way in which you order it is sometimes different, isn't it? So, there's that bit, but then maybe this bit just didn't sound right at all, and they had to, make it good for the Spanish ear.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ruben, what do you think of this song?
Beautiful vocals. That I can comment on. I think the vocals are very nice.
Yes.
He's got a very soft tone in the chorus. Rob did his part to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm not really qualified to speak about the Spanish.
Neither are we.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, Rob did his part brilliantly.
Yes.
nor am I, considering I had to look up how to say Angeles. But I do now know how to say it. So I think it sounds good in Spanish. And the tone, his tone is, as you say, his vocal is great on this one. What do you think, Luce?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds lovely, but obviously I don't really understand what he's saying. So I just kind of listen to it just for listening to his voice, really. And the tune is obviously exactly the same. So, you're still listening to Angels, but yeah, it's nice.
I wonder if it took them, what was it's Supreme, wasn't it? That
When they did that in French. It took all day.
It took them all day to do it, and he was like literally doing it word by word and line by line. And then we talked about it on that episode, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then they played it to a French person, and they were like, "No, don't understand any of it."
Oh no!
So I wonder whether any of our Spanish listeners want to comment on how this sounds to them.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Yeah, get onto our socials and let us know how it sounds for you, because
we don't
for
know.
us to judge.
Yeah.
And you spotted another little small thing, didn't you?
Well,
Lucy?
Ruben spotted
did.
it, really.
What did we spot?
That it's on Spotify and Apple Music, it says, you say it,
Angeles.
yeah. But on the actual box set, it just says Angels in brackets Spanish version.
So it's spelled Angeles is Angeles.
Like Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
An anomaly there.
We spot these things. Lucy likes a bit of detail.
Yes. Right, should we go on to CD 3, which it starts with Freedom Ambient Mix, followed by the Freedom New Sound Dub.
Yeah.
And these two remixes are apparently promo releases from July 1996. But I do have a promo CD from July 96, and it doesn't have these on it. It just has the radio edit and an extended version. So I don't know what promo CDs they were.
Yeah, promo can take different forms, can't it? Because sometimes the promo CDs are just sent to DJs.
Yeah.
Still they are. Back in the day, it might have just been sent to DJs or radio DJs or musos, music industry people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the ambient mix was remixed by Anthony Genn and Rob himself. As a reminder, Anthony Genn co-wrote Clean with Rob, Anthony also went on to be responsible for the music on Peaky Blinders since season 4. The new sound dub was remixed by Arthur Baker, presumably the same Arthur Baker who has worked with New Order, Pet Shop Boys, and remixed Spaceman by Babylon Zoo.
Matt, do you like these remixes?
The tone in your voice, I can hear. I don't know whether listeners can hear that, but Matt, yes, yeah, I love it. I mean, I love anything that's kind of funky house, like dance. I love remixes. I love extended versions. I really get into all that sort of thing. So, yeah, when I think about the ambient mix in particular. One thing I did pick out there was that I find it interesting how much that version sounds like Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. So if you ever listen to that track, it's got this part where the backing vocalists go, woo, 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 woo,
Yeah.
and it sort of keeps going, woo, woo, all along. It's almost the same. So I wonder whether that's like intentional, because it's, you know, it's a very iconic woo-woo part of a very iconic song, or whether it's just a coincidence, I don't know. But the funky vibe and the arrangement and those classic woo-woos going on throughout, I just think it's cool. Really like that. And then the new sound dub, I love the funky techno vibe on that one. It's over 10 minutes long. And it takes absolutely ages before any vocals start. But as I said, I quite like instrumental like music. I enjoy sort of music without vocals as well. So for me, I kind of listen to those and I was like, "Ooh, cool, love it." I love the fact it's 10 minutes long. Whereas I know Lucy's view is going to be slightly different. Hence the tone in the question asking at the beginning. So yeah, I quite like both of those.
Ruben, what do you think?
I'm the first to admit that remixes are not my thing. I'd usually,
Right.
if it comes on, I'll skip to the next one. But these ones, I find very listenable because they still, while they're different, they still stay true to the originals. They don't veer so far off the path to where it's almost a different song. A lot of remixes do that. But these ones, the ambient mix, it's almost like an a cappella version of the regular track, which, it's cool. It keeps its authenticity while still having a different vibe to it. And the new sound dub, again, I'm exactly the same. Instrumentals I find very fascinating, because you may hear certain parts that you don't pick up on when you're focused on the vocals on the standard version. So even though it's 10 minutes long, when these pop up on my Spotify or if I play the CDs, I don't skip them. They, for what they are, I genuinely really like them.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Here we go. Oh, now for the alternative view.
So the ambient mix, it's okay. It's got Rob's vocals on it, which I like, and it still sort of builds as the song progresses. It's got quite a retro, it's sort of quite retro sounding with the scratching records.
Yeah.
There's one bit that doesn't really seem to fit, I think, at like 2 minutes 47 and 2 minutes 49, like almost like a double gunshot, sort of double big, it's two like ba-bum kind of noises. And they kind of stick out and they don't really fit with the timing, I think. There's a few bits like that, and it's not, I don't really like it. And then if I go on to
Is
the
it
new...
a skipper?
Well,
It says in your notes.
It says skip. Sorry, Rob and Anthony. Yes, it does say that. But the new sound dub is a definite skip. Like, I forced myself to listen to it a few times for the sake of the podcast, but I can't bear it, to be honest. There's pretty much no vocals. It lasts too long. To me, it sounds like it could be any dance song. It's just kind of beats, bass and synth noises, and it kind of pained me to have to listen to the whole thing.
It is quite indulgent, I must admit. I mean, whoever was working on that, they've chucked the kitchen sink at it. Like, there's everything in it.
Yeah,
but I still like it.
I'd rather listen to the ambient mix than the new sound dub. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Poor Arthur
ambient
Baker,
mix.
Arthur Baker. Sorry, I like it, Arthur.
Yeah, but there you go, listeners. At least we know now that the Robbie Williams Rewind podcast is fully honest. We're honest with everything. You're getting the clear views.
All views are welcome, as I say.
Let's go on to the next song, Hey Little Girl.
Hey Little Girl, a completely unheard song released for the first time here. Written by Richard Hawley, produced by Anthony Gann, recorded at Axis Studios in Sheffield as a demo in October-November 96. Richard was a member of Britpop band Long Pigs in the 90s, and then he later joined Pulp for a short period. He's released 8 solo studio albums. I think my eyesight's going. We need these scripts a bit bigger. I've realised. Not in 10 point. Or is it 8 point?
It's 11.
It's 11, okay. Have it in 12. He's released 8 solo studio albums, was nominated for a Mercury Prize twice and once for a Brit. He's collaborated with Lisa Marie Presley, Shakespeare's Sister, Arctic Monkeys, Manic Street Preachers, Elbow and Paul Weller.
Richard also co-wrote Clean on Life Through a Lens, which we'll get to in a minute. These songs were recorded before Rob met Guy in January 97. Hey Little Girl might be one of the first songs that Richard Hawley wrote, as according to his Wikipedia, the first song he wrote that was published was for Long Pigs, and that came out in 1996 as well.
Yeah. In a 2006 interview with the Daily Telegraph, Richard said that he received a call from Rob in 2004 asking whether he'd like to be his new songwriting collaborator following his split with Guy. Rob told Richard he was a fan of his solo albums. Richard's wife told him to do it. There you go. But Richard ultimately said no. He told the Telegraph, "I said no, it would mean it would be over, that the arrow would fall straight away, well short of its mark. And I've got a lot more to do yet. Robbie's great at what he does. He's the Norman Wisdom of pop. I just hope he's happy, that's all." Basically, Richard decided he wanted to be true to himself rather than follow the money.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a dig there, though, don't you? Like, basically saying, once I've worked with Robbie Williams, I won't be able to do anything else. Like, I'll be tarnished, essentially, and people won't take me credibly as a songwriter and artist in my own right, I guess. That's what he viewed it as. I just didn't know that fact until I was looking him up.
Yeah.
I managed to find that.
You can see both sides of it.
Yeah.
Oh, we ended up getting the fantastic Intensive
Stephen
Care
Duffy.
album.
Yeah, which was amazing.
Yeah. It all worked out in the end.
It did. Yes. So, Ruben, what do you think of Hey Little Girl?
With all of there's a lot of B-sides from this album. And this is a nice tune. I like it. And I'm quite surprised that it didn't go any further to a B-side. I probably would choose this over a couple of the ones that did make it to B-sides.
Okay.
It's a nice, it's an easy listen. Yeah, it's easy to follow along with. It's not a task to listen to it and understand it. This is the kind of song that you'd expect to be a B-side, in my opinion. I like it. I'm surprised that it stayed hidden in the vaults this long.
I know.
It makes you wonder what else is hidden in there.
It does, yeah.
Lots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I presume that Rob was hanging out with this Richard and Anthony and some of these people in his lost year in 96. I gather that Richard, he himself has said that he was a massive Class A drugs taker, and he's clean now. So I guess that he sort of fell into that crowd when he was in London, and that's how he met these guys.
Yeah.
And ended up writing with them. But yeah, I like this song. It's got I like the vocal. His vocal's kind of a bit deeper than it is on a lot of his other early songs, which I like.
Yeah.
But as it's essentially a cover, because Richard wrote it and he didn't have anything to do with the writing, you can see why it didn't make the cut as opposed to other songs that he and Guy wrote in the end. But yeah, it's great that we've finally been gifted this song after 25 years.
Yeah.
Also, the flute. I know, Matt, you were going to comment on the flute. I quite like the flute because it makes it unique to everything else that Rob recorded, especially during this period when it was all Britpop.
Oh, yes.
It's different to anything else on Life Through a Lens, that's for sure. Yeah, I like it. It's a chilled song with like funky kind of sounds. Matt?
Yeah, it is funky. That's the word I would use to describe it, because it's like dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's got a funky beat. It's sort of flowing sort of sound. It's a nice flowing, feel good sort of song. Although the actual lyrics are like, now your tears are going to fall, and it's sort of, I guess the lyrics are a little bit sad about crying and
Cold and
tears
lonely.
and cold and lonely. But the musical melody sort of really is quite uplifting, I think.
Yeah.
And the flute in particular. It isn't often that you get a flute so prominent on a pop song. I mean, I know it's not really a pop song though. That's the thing, is it? It's not like a main. I think that's why it's a B-side.
Yeah.
It's not like a mainstream pop song that you could hear being released. It's a ditty. It's not quite. It's just nice. But the flute reminds me of Austin Powers because in Austin Powers, the film, they've used that flute like all the time, don't they? It's sort of used to signify when people are coming in and out of scenes, and I don't know. So once I got that into my head, I couldn't think of anything else because it's quite loud. They've mixed the flute quite loud on the track, so it's quite prominent. But it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's just my stupid,
Your thought process.
my silly thought process. Anyway.
Yeah, the songs mean different to every single person. It means something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good to hear something new.
Yes.
It's nice to hear something from the archives.
It's something different. It is a lot different to anything else that was released on the album and the B-side.
Yeah. For sure. So the next song is Clean, or working title Mr. Sheen, recorded at Axis Studios as a demo in November 1996. Written by Rob, Pablo Cook, Anthony Genn, Richard Hawley and Martin Slattery, and produced by Anthony Genn. Ruben, do you like Clean? Version?
Yeah, this is probably one of my favourite demos on the album. It's just like the album version, it's just such an enjoyable listen. And from that early on, it was obviously the instruments and stuff weren't fully developed yet, but the lyrical content, the melody and everything, that was basically all set, and it's a very fun listen. There's some very high vocals in it, high vocals. There's some alternate lyrics in there.
Yes, there
right?
is. Yeah. Stroll on. We're anti rock and roll. Stroll on.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I probably, from this point on, I'd listen to this version as much as the album version. So you get enough different from both.
Yeah.
And they're both very fun in their own way. You can tell they're having a lot of fun recording this one.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a geographical question for you. Do you know what the product Mr. Sheen is in New Zealand?
I personally don't, but I don't know a lot of things, so maybe that does exist.
He probably doesn't know cleaning products.
I don't know whether it doesn't clean.
I believe you live with your parents, so I'm guessing that your mum probably uses Mr. Sheen.
Well, no, but I don't know whether it's a global product.
No, I don't know either.
Well, no, the only reason why I ask is because obviously he talks about Charlie Sheen, the actor, but then Mr. Sheen is a furniture polish in the UK, and I'm not sure. I'm only saying it because I'm sure in some parts of the world people don't know. We did say on the episode actually. We may not have explained it explicitly, but yeah, it's a can of furniture polish that you spray. So clean as Mr. Sheen. It's it's linked to that.
So, yeah, I've never polished furniture, so I can't answer that question. Maybe it does.
You'll have to let us know whether Mr. Sheen exists in New Zealand. You know,
Matt?
Well, it sounds a little bit different. Obviously, Rob's tone and gravelly voice sounds very original on this, and obviously it is a demo, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's not much production; it's just raw. It's another bit of funky flute on this one as well. I noticed towards the end. Oh. So obviously the flute was a big thing at this point, and there's a super long outro on this one when compared to the original as well. So yeah, it's nice to hear the sort of rawness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that he sounds quite Oasis, like Liam Gallagher on this one. You know, he says summit's going to go wrong instead of something's going to go wrong. Because on the finished version, he says it more like something's going to go wrong. But on this one, it's very summit's going to, you know, very Liam Gallagher kind of nasal impression.
Well, I think he thought at that time that the guitars are similar to that as well. I think he thought he was going to be an indie singer, an indie band. Yeah. And he evolved away from that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I prefer the finished vocal. Yeah. It's, well, you know, I do like Oasis, but Liam's voice does start to grate after a while. Personally, I much prefer Rob's finished vocal. So on the bridge on this version, they've got the stroll on singing in that, but on the final one, they've just got the pure instrumental bit, which I think I prefer the instrumental bit of the finished one.
Yeah.
And the ending is very different. The finished version has loads of like substance and like weirdness and sort of that those funny noises happening, which is cool. You know what I mean? When it goes all like, I think I described it in the first episode, like.
Lucy's got her hand in the air, making some sort of flashing claw type motion here, just for podcast listeners, you know. When
scenes change in a film and it goes from one scene to the other and it goes all blurry, like blurry in and out, that's what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah.
I think you might want to cut that out.
No, it's staying in. It's a perfect description.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
Okay, so shall we go on to Old Before I Die?
Yep.
Yes. The Crescent Moon Studios demo. This was written by Rob, Desmond Child, and Eric Bazillion, produced by Desmond Child. It was recorded in October 96 at Crescent Moon Studios in Miami. So, shall I start on this one?
Yeah, if you want.
So I love hearing how different this is in terms of the intro. You know, I don't know whether you two agree. I think there's a slightly slower tempo to it.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, so it's slowed down a little bit. And, you know, to hear the difference in Rob's vocal as well. So I was listening on my headphones and I noticed that Rob's main vocal is mixed to the left channel. Now, this is getting very technical here. Well, not really, but so it's in my left ear, and the backing vocal was mixed into the right channel. I guess it sounds interesting like that. I don't think that's the way that producers normally do the mix. It was probably something to do with the fact this was a demo, and I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah,
it's my observation.
Yeah. It's definitely slower, isn't it? I do prefer the bouncier final edit.
Yeah.
And I also think this one sounds very Oasis, especially the last 20 seconds where it's like playing out the instrumental outro. The music is very much like an Oasis song, but I can't think which one.
Twanging guitars.
It's just, like it literally sounds like an Oasis song. And if anyone can tell me which song it is, let me know. And the lyrics are obviously a bit different in the second verse. She's driving my engine with a vengeance, I swear. She's pulling me faster. I'm something, couldn't hear that bit, past her, nowhere, which is replacing she's not stable. She's not feeling stable. She's unable to breathe. Her heart's beating faster. So I'll ask her to leave. So those... Yeah. but I like it. But the first time I heard it, I was a bit like, oh, what is it? I don't like it. It's too slow. It didn't sound right. But it's grown on me now. Ruben?
Yeah. No, I agree with everything both of you said. Album-wise, this is probably one of my least favourite to listen to be honest.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I think it's one of the most valuable inclusions on the album, just based on how different it is, showing how much a song can progress. Maybe some people like this version better, but seeing the start, middle, I don't know whereabouts this version lands and all that. But seeing how much it can improve. I love it. And it's interesting about the left and the right channels. I didn't notice that. I didn't listen to it on headphones, but that would probably indicate to me that these demos have been left very much as is, and they probably haven't tampered with them as much, or else if they did, they probably would have changed that. Which is good, like for authenticity purposes, like a historical piece that this is. It's really nice to know that these are probably very true to how they actually were in the studio, which is the whole idea of it. I love it. So the whole idea of this, I absolutely love. The alternate lyrics, they're interesting too. But I do prefer everything about the final version. I definitely prefer.
Yeah, for sure.
It just shows us, doesn't it? It reminds us how many times a song goes through different iterations before it actually gets finalized and produced.
Yeah.
You kind of have to put something out there to be able to then go, okay, we want to change that, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you sort of forget that the songs are never the final songs when they first get played and sung.
Yeah. You don't know any of the background stuff. That's what's so cool about all this.
Yeah, it is.
Peek into what it may have been like being inside the studio. This whole album gives that kind of feel.
Yes,
it does.
Maybe, being in the same room as Rob's recording those vocals. Just like a fly on the wall. Kind of.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Lazy Days, the Tower Studios demo. Written by Rob and Guy, this demo was recorded at Tower Studios in London in January 1997. There are different lyrics, mainly in the first verse. Lazy days, velvet and warm. Lazy days, in the shade, lying on the lawn. You can be sure, you can be sure, you can be sure. We will have a jolly good time. Instead of lazy days, calling to you, come out to play. The future lies with you. Now you can be sure, love is the cure. What we're waiting for is to have a jolly good time.
Other different lines include, lazy days, nothing to pursue. Can we refrain from finding things to do? And lazy days, caressing our minds, hide away through space and through time.
I love that line. Lazy days, nothing to pursue. Can we refrain from finding things to do?
Refrain?
That's funny. You quite often say that to me at the weekend. Basically, can we refrain from finding things? You don't say those words, but essentially you're like,
the intent is the same. Yeah. Can we not invent a load of stuff to do, please? Yeah. That's life, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, especially with kids. Like I was doing flat pack furniture last weekend. That was fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, lazy days. Who doesn't like a lazy day, eh, Ruben?
Yeah.
Love lazy days. Literally, and the song. Yes.
Yeah.
This one, all the instruments, they sound pretty close to the final version right off the bat.
Yeah.
So when I sing along to it in the kitchen or whatever, I go to sing the album version, and then of course it's very different lyrical wise.
Yeah.
Which catches me off guard. But again, it's another one. It's so cool to hear how it can develop. I saw something with where Robbie talked about this back in '97.
Right,
yeah. So being able to hear evidence of this, it's so cool. And yes, again, definitely prefer the final version. But yeah, what a treat. So what a treat. Because you hear all this stuff, but then you actually have proof to go along with it. It's just a whole other whole other aspect. So
Yeah.
cool.
I was a bit confused because I was trying to work out exactly what did come first. I guess it was this one, because this version is called the demo, and then there's also the original version that was a B-side to
Ooh.
Millennium, and they both have different lyrics to the final version. And then the final arrangement seems to follow this demo rather than the so-called original version.
Yeah.
But I do remember Rob saying in an interview that this song existed by Guy already until he rewrote some of the lyrics. And then when he was talking about that, that's probably what you saw, Ruben, he sung the Velvet and Warm lyrics of this demo as an example. So I presume that this one came first, and then I guess that original version was a second iteration of it.
Yeah.
And then finally we got the final version. But yeah, as you say, it sounds very much like the finished one, just with different lyrics, really.
Yeah.
It's just it's great because it's Lazy Days.
It is. Lazy Days, Velvet and Warm.
You can imagine if this version was the one released as a single, it may have had a slightly different impact on the charts, like lyrical content wise. Yeah, it's funny to imagine, like if the Old Before I Die, if that version was released as a single, would they even have let him get as far as Angels for the singles releases? Would we have Robbie here now to talk about if they went from that direction from the get-go?
Yeah, the Oasis style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But it's always fun to speculate.
Yeah. Matt?
No, nothing to say.
Oh,
You've both said it all. I mean, it sounds pretty much like the original version.
Yeah.
Apart from a few tweaks here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about Angels, the Tower Studios demo.
So this was written by Rob and Guy, and the demo was recorded at Tower Studios in London in January 1997.
So I actually noticed that this one is a slightly slower tempo because I played them side by side.
Oh, you did a side by side.
I did. And also Rob's delivery of some of the lyrics are slightly different in a few places, aren't they? Like he just says things at a slightly different pace, and that always throws me.
Yeah.
I really miss the electric guitar on the bridge, though. You know, that's iconic, that moment.
Yes.
I mean, the ah bits are quite nice, but they don't compete with that guitar.
No.
And he also says, when she comes to call instead of when I come to call. Yeah, it's intriguing. It's moving, this, but you can't beat the original.
Yeah.
Matt?
I think it's interesting to hear this is so raw and acoustic. It's an acoustic version, I think. And Rob's vocal has stayed pretty true to the early demo version.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to hear his younger voice on this one.
Yeah.
You know, you can hear the youth in his voice. He's obviously, everybody's voices change over the years. He can still sing in the same way, but it's a different sound. Isn't it? Yeah. Ruben?
Yeah, this is probably my favourite song on this album.
Right.
A lot of it has to do with how Robbie's told his stories about holding that Angels tape in his hand and imagining what the future holds, and the story about the taxi driver and all that. You've got to imagine that tape had to have been pretty close to what's on this version here, right? You've got to imagine.
Yeah.
It's as close as we're going to get. And again, hearing how different his lyrics, pretty much completed from the get-go by the sounds of it.
Exactly.
Only a couple minor tweaks, but a completely different song. It's like a more simple ballad, like a calmer song.
Yeah.
So it's in a lower key too. That's and that
is it?
changes the mood.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, slightly lower key. I don't know the technical terms. Is it like like a semitone below, a couple semitones, something like that? That's very intriguing, and even minor tweaks like that, it does change the mood of the song.
Yeah,
it's less of an epic song and more of just a straight ballad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So shall we move on to Red Lights?
Yeah. Another almost completely unheard and previously unreleased song, written by Rob and Guy, produced by Guy. This was recorded at Tower Studios in London in January 1997. The bridge is exactly the same as the one in She Makes Me High, B-side to Lazy Days. She protects me now and she is good. She sees me like I wish she would. She is honest now. She is true. She's the complete opposite of you. So I guess this song maybe came before She Makes Me High, and then they developed She Makes Me High from this, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Ruben, do you like Red Lights?
I love it. This is my favourite unreleased song.
Yeah.
Out of this and Hey Little Girl, I love this song. This, this is on par with the rest of the B-sides that were released, in my opinion. I love it. And that bridge, that was my favourite part of She Makes Me High. I love that song because of the bridge. So it's so cool to hear where it came from. And the rest of the song too. It's a genuinely enjoyable listen. And the death from above. It's very catchy. And I think that they went with the ones they went with for a reason. But if they chose to go further with one, it could almost be single worthy, I think. It just sticks in your head. In my opinion. Yeah,
there's a definite hook in there, isn't there?
Yes, absolutely. It's January 1997, so this would have been when Guy came in.
Yeah, the very first month they were together.
And we all know Guy with his hooks, with the songs.
Yeah.
He is very good with those. And, well, even at that early stage, man, so good. Love it.
Yeah. Matt?
Yeah, it's a really funky, groovy track. There's a rip-roaring guitar solo at the end as well. So yeah, I like it. I love the red lights are only advisory because green lights are flashing inside of me. And then I wonder whether there's probably none, but obviously he's written the song Green Light, which is incredible. So, he only has to bring in Amber Light and he's done all three,
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, there you go, Robbie, if you're listening.
You don't have to laugh, it isn't funny. But yeah, he does mention all the lights there, so yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it. It's funky, as you say, and the instrumentation sounds great. It's like really heavy and kind of rocky. The drums, guitar, keys, they're all kind of quite wild and loud sounding. And then you throw in Rob's raspy, shouty vocals, and it's definitely 1997 Robbie. And the recognisable bridge from She Makes Me High just makes it instantly familiar and just makes you love it straight away. The love, love, love bits in the sort of chorus, they totally stick in your head. I can kind of see why it wasn't included on the album or as a B-side. I think I prefer She Makes Me High to this one, so I can see why they sort of chose that one instead. Yeah. I like the line, time for truth because lies have broken me, fear dies, there's only hope for me. I know luck because the lady that's stroking me can only pray for the man I'm supposed to be. I like that. Yeah, it's great. I like it. And it's so exciting to have another new song to listen to.
Yeah. And with the same bridge, it feels like, at least for me, it feels like I've known this song for a long time, just from the bridge alone. It's, and to think that, again, this has been tucked away for this long. We're only hearing it now. It's amazing. Yeah. What a treat.
It is.
So let's talk about Average B-Side, the West Side Studios demo. Written by Rob and Kevin King and produced by Guy, this was recorded at West Side Studios in London, February 97. As we said in the intro, this edition on 7-inch signals the first time Average B-Side has been an actual B-side. Yes, please, I'll go first. Love, 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 love it. I think everyone heard me going on about Average B-Side when we talked about it in the episode where we talked about Average B-Side.
Yes. Yes.
It is a classic. Yeah. It's a beautiful song. He's singing. it seems as though he's singing along with his own vocal track on this demo. So it really is a very raw demo. So it seems as though they've got the vocal line running and he's sort of adding another vocal on top or something like that.
Yeah.
There's the guide track.
It sounds a bit odd.
The guide track's still in there. They left the guide track in the demo and he's singing over that.
Yeah, it sounds a bit odd, doesn't it? Because his voices aren't always quite in sync, but I wonder whether he was actually trying to do something slightly different with his vocal that he was laying on top. So it's interesting to hear that, but I am absolutely biased because I love this song. And as I said on the episode, I don't think it should have been a B-side. I think it actually could have been a single, this song. It's just really clever. I really like it.
Yeah.
So,
Ruben?
Yeah. It's really nice that they included some of the B-sides in this album. They could have just stuck with the main 11 songs that the wide public already know. Songs like this, they put that in just for us. Just our special group, they put that in. And yeah, what a treat. A lot of it is, it shows how from that early stage it was pretty well developed. It's almost... Yeah, there's still some minor tweaks here and there, but it's almost the final version. Lyrics very similar. Instrumentals very similar, but it's a lot more raw, like a lot of these are. I love it. What a treat. What a treat to get. Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, he sounds great, and it's an incredible B-side, and I think it should have been included on In and Out of Consciousness, as I said when we did that episode. It's nice to see it's been recognised as a classic song by being put on the 7-inch with Freedom as well.
Yeah.
And that makes quite a good marketing gimmick as well, putting it on there. And I still want to know who Kevin King is, who he wrote this with, because this is the only song that he's credited with writing. And it's so good, why didn't he write any other songs? Interesting. I'm guessing he's just a friend of Rob's, but where is he now? We'd like to know.
Interesting.
If there's ever a Robbie Part 2 episode, there's a question right there.
There you go. We'll put that on the list. Along with the 4,000 other questions.
Let's talk about Teenage Millionaire, shall we?
Oh, yes.
Rehearsal recording. Written by Rob, Guy and Chris Sharrock. This was recorded in spring 1997. The second verse of this demo didn't make the final version. Security in hotels, blowjobs in the footwells, bigger balls than the lottery, ooh, someone stop me, Mercedes I'll be driving, nouveau social climbing.
That line didn't make it.
No, it didn't make it in the final edit.
I wonder why. One bit of that probably,
Yeah. This song, obviously, I chose this in episode 2 because I absolutely love it. But when I listen to this version, it reminds me, the beginning especially, of There's No Other Way by Blur. Mm-hmm. And I've never thought that when I've listened to the original. It's like something, it's the music of it, not really the vocals.
Yeah.
That was a good impression.
It's a perfect reproduction of it. There's no other way.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, but it's not really that bit. It's the bit at the beginning of the song that you need to listen to.
Okay.
Anyway, the way he sings a lot of it, especially the verse that was cut, Mercedes I'll be driving, nouveau social climbing. You know what I'm going to say here. He's doing his best Liam Gallagher impression again.
He's whining.
Yes.
He's doing that whining sound.
So I'm glad that the finished one doesn't sound like that. Look, he sounds so much better when he's himself. I love the maniacal laugh at the end. It still sounds great. It's still one of my favourite songs from that era. Just absolutely love it. It's hilarious. I love the different lyrics. They're funny. Ruben?
Yeah, it's funny. These average B-side and Teenage Millionaire, I always think of you two when I think of those songs because I remember how much you both raved about those songs. The fact that these are the ones they included, it's so cool. And yeah, I got to agree, Teenage Millionaire. Yeah, it's one of my favorite B-sides, probably of all of the B-sides. It's just so catchy, so good. And the alternate lyrics, that they're the main thing that stands out to me in this version. And they fit in well with the song. I reckon. You can understand why he had to change some of them to put it to put it on a single or put it on a B-side. But another one. What absolute treat! I love it so much, and they are having a blast in the studio by the sound. You can only imagine, but you just feel the joy. It's the rawness of it. It's the freshness. So cool. It is. Cracks me up whenever I hear that one.
Matt?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it before. It's a provocative, in-your-face song. It's clever, probably misunderstood at the time by people that didn't really know what was going on with Rob or his sense of humour. But I guess because this is a rehearsal recording, it sounds very much like the one that was actually recorded and released, apart from the line that you said had to change.
Yeah.
But one insight that did come to me as Ruben was talking there is, wouldn't it be great if this got into Better Man, the biopic, in some shape or form?
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Because, we haven't been told a lot about it, but I believe they're going to explore a little bit of Rob's inner psyche. I think we're going to see, because I don't know who was saying it, but I think we're going to see something about the crazy internal world of Rob.
Yeah.
And I wonder whether this might be included. I'd love it to be.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
But maybe it's too much to be included, but we'll see.
Well, if you want his crazy past condensed into 3 minutes or however long the song is, listen to the song and that explains everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, shall we move on to South of the Border rehearsal recording?
Yeah.
So this is written by Rob and Guy, and this recording is also from spring 1997, so same period.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll kick off.
Okay.
This version is a little bit more sedate, a little bit more mellow than the final version that was released, I think.
Yeah.
Even though it's a rehearsal recording. And once again, Rob's main vocal is on the left channel. Again, another little technical spot there. And another thing, around about 2 minutes 20, there's a bit of weird sound that I don't think was left in the original. I can't remember what the weird sound was, but 2 minutes 20, there's something odd going on there. But
I hadn't actually noticed it was a fraction slower, this song, until you pointed it out.
Do you agree?
I do, because then I played them and I agreed.
It's only a little bit.
Yeah, only a little bit, yeah.
It is a little bit slow, yeah.
And then my main takeout was the different words in the funny talky bit that he does. Instead of talking about Daniela Westbrook and Anthea Turner having it large, he says something like, all your food source comes from a pot noodle. People don't smile like they used to. They think you want something off them. There's no one there to darn your socks because your mum's not about. That's south of the border for you. There's no food in the fridge though. That's south of the border for you. Basically describing his life in London compared to Stoke, living down there. No food in his fridge, no one to
living
look after
on his
him.
own, yeah, exactly.
Well, I think he had flatmates, but
no mum to cater for him.
Yeah,
yes.
So he's just eating pot noodles. Do people know what a pot noodle is? Do you know what a pot noodle is, Ruben?
Does
it mean something other than noodle? Is that what you're going for?
It is a real food.
It's a highly processed food in a pot
that you just pour boiling water into.
Oh yeah. So you literally meant pot. Yeah. No, for sure. Sorry, I thought you were meaning.
It's a brand name over here.
It's a brand name.
Pot noodle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, we call it.
But it is what it
noodles
says
over here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very unhealthy.
Yeah, some people are known to live on them, but it's not an ideal sort of food source to live on.
Yeah, but if you have to get by,
that's obviously what he lived on.
Yeah. Along the lines of what you said, very intriguing because it's an insight into his actual life, his experiences. And the alternate lyrics here, they do sound very good. So that's a very good attention to detail, whoever chose to change them later on, because they could have worked in the final version, I think. The rest of the song sounds very close to being finished. It's just, again, this whole getting an inside look into what they do and why they do it. It's so eye-opening. I love it.
It is. Yeah. I also noticed he does a little bit of beatboxing on this one, if you listen carefully. Yeah.
I didn't notice
And there's
that.
more maniacal laughing as well.
Oh, yeah.
I love the maniacal laugh.
Yeah, that's
and I also
good.
love the word maniacal.
Yeah, I like the word maniacal as well.
Yeah.
Makes me think of Gru from
Oh yeah.
Despicable Me. I don't know why. Anyway, let's talk about Killing Me, the rehearsal recording. Written by Rob and Guy. This rehearsal recording is from spring 1997 as well. Not a lot to say about this I didn't have. It's just kind of sounds the same really to the final version. You know, it's very nice, emotional vocal. Just enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, Rob's raspy voice and tone sound good on this one. And there's so much emotion in his vocal. That's one thing I picked up from this.
Yeah.
I actually really like the rawness of this rehearsal recording. There's something really authentic about it, you know. I like the fact that I'm not listening to the highly produced version. I think sometimes there's something really nice about that.
Mm-hmm.
More live sort of feel to it. What do you
Ruben?
think, Ruben?
Yeah, I was about to say exactly the same thing that you just said, Matt. The rawness of it. It's very nice to hear. Pretty much would be like its own, like all done in one take. The vocals, it's very raw and just the feeling you get from it. Yeah, it's very similar to the final version, but it's a feeling that this version captures. Yeah. Very special. I seem to be saying that a lot because it's a great album. But very,
Well, they're great songs, aren't they?
We're okay with bias here. It's fine. You know, we're biased as well.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So should we talk about Live Through a Lens rehearsal recording?
Okay.
So this was written by Rob and Guy and is from spring 97 as well. They had a great spring 97.
They did. So I kind of thought this sounded the same until I played them alongside each other and found the finished track is slightly faster tempo. So it makes it kind of sound a bit more exciting in the end, the way they finished it. But it sounds like live vocals. I love it. It's just a great song anyway. You can't go wrong with this song.
Yeah. Ruben?
Yeah. I was. I feel like I'm a broken record. I was going to say something along the lines of what you were saying, Lucy. It sounds like a live version, but in the studio. Like, it's a live take, them all together. Maybe it's not. It has that looseness to it. Not madness, but everything that makes a live version great. This version has. It's great. And all the instrumental parts, they sound pretty much sorted. But it's like all these other rehearsal recordings. It's more the feeling that these versions capture. It's it feels like you could close your eyes and picture yourself in the room while they're doing it. The way those drums, the drums especially, sound very raw, very strong, like they would be if you were actually in the room.
I don't think I've got anything else to add. It's Live Through a Lens. But all of what you just said about the live feel for it, it's really nice to hear that.
Yeah.
So shall we talk about South of the Border, Mother's Milking It mix?
Yeah. Written by Rob and Guy, produced by Guy and Steve Power. This was remixed by Mother for 7pm management. This was previously included as a B-side to South of the Border on CD2.
Other remixes from the South of the Border 2 CD singles that haven't been included in this set include Lockdown's Borderline mix, Phil the Kick Drum Dance, Matt Smith's Nosebag dub, Phil the Kick Drum Dance plus Matt Smith's Filthy Funk vocal remix, Lockdown's Southside dub, and Shango and Danny Howell's The Unknown DJ's Meet Cocaine Katie mix.
I mean,
what is going on with all those titles?
I know,
Why have
hilarious.
remixes got to have such weird titles?
Yeah.
It's. I guess that's part of it, isn't it? Yeah. There we go.
So I'll go first. It's not my cup of tea again, and it actually hurts my ears when I listen to this with headphones to the point I can't listen to it. That buzzing sound just literally hurts. So maybe it's cool, but it's not for me. Skip.
Ruben, over to you.
Yeah, when I was saying at the start about me not being a remix person, it's because of remixes like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You agree then?
It's a skipper for me.
Yeah.
Skipper, absolutely. Yeah. My first skipper of the whole thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, there's always room for one. Yeah, I thought I was getting interference on my iPhone when I first listened to this song. I was like, what is this? What's going on? That strange noise at the beginning. And yes, I already knew that this wouldn't be Lucy's cup of tea. It's funky. I kind of like it. It's not like my most favourite remix ever, but the vocals don't actually properly start until about 3 minutes 40-ish. So there's a lot to listen to,
yes,
there's a lot to process, and I can
painful.
understand why Lucy gets annoyed because she's like, I just need the Robbie bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is something that I appreciate though about about it. I do like it, sort of, but I think it gets a little bit repetitive towards the end. So it's kind of, there's a lot of repeating, a lot of looping going on. I don't know whether I've actually listened to all those other different mixes, but I wonder whether this was the best one to actually include.
Yeah, maybe some of those
with
might
all
have been
due
better.
respect to Guy and Steve Power. Obviously, I think they were having and Mother for 7 p.m. management. I mean, yeah.
Well, if this was the best of them all, then
Don't listen to the others, Liz, right?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Could we safely assume there was a little bit of extra space left on the disc? Why not throw these on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry
and
if you're one of the people that actually like it. If you're listening and you like it, really sorry. But it's
well, I guess like everything, you've always got to have a bit of light and shade, haven't you? Otherwise the good things don't stand out.
yeah. There you go. There you go.
Okay, let me entertain you the Bizarro mix.
So written by Rob and Guy and produced by Guy and Steve Power. This remix and additional production were done by Mother for 7 p.m. management. This mix was previously included on CD2 of the Let Me Entertain You single in 1998.
3 other mixes that haven't been included in this anniversary edition include Stretch and Vern's Rock and Roll mix, the Amethysts dub, and the Robbie Loves His Mother mix. I love that name. Now, I actually quite like this remix. It's got like a good beat on it, and it's ideal for this iconic song because it still has the vibe of the original.
Yeah.
Despite there not being many lyrics, vocals. But I generally don't listen to remixes, so I probably will skip it, even though it's actually okay. If that's my honest opinion. Ruben?
Yeah, it's not the worst remix I've heard. I would like to hear a little bit more of the different lyrics in it. You hear Hell Has Gone and Heaven's Here a lot on there. But it probably serves its purpose for a club song. It probably does what it's supposed to do. We're not the audience that this song's intended for.
No.
Not my cup of tea. I probably would skip it if it were up to me. But again, it's not a painful listen like some of the remixes can be. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit indifferent about this one as well. I mean, I do listen to it. As I said, I don't mind sort of remixes and funky beats and all that sort of thing. I love the beat that drops after the intro. I mean, that's just like brilliant. That massive beat, as you say.
Yeah.
It works with this.
It does
with
work.
this song.
It's just not for me.
No, and obviously, Let Me Entertain You. Phew, it's a bit like on 25. It's like, what can you do to let me entertain you? It's Let Me Entertain You is the original song in my mind. So when you hear it messed about with, it's like, oh, okay, not sure about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's as I said, it's not the worst remix I've ever heard. I agree with you, Ruben.
Right, so I think we've covered all the new songs on this album.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything about anything else on it?
Any other thoughts on tracks or anything else on there, Ruben, that you found interesting?
Oh, I think I've touched on it a lot already, just about how the overall feeling this album gives. It's just a gem. It's a piece of history. It's the making of a very, very special album. Just feels very precious holding this in your hand, or being able to listen to something that maybe you feel like you're almost not supposed to listen to it, but it's it's quite a treat that we do. It's something I always. Oh yeah, I already said a lot of this already. I wish that we would have eventually gotten something like this, but the fact that we're actually getting it, it's surreal.
Yeah,
you can only hope that we get more stuff like this. But you got to buy it first. You got to buy it to tell them that we want more.
Yes,
we want more.
Because I did notice there's not many listens on Spotify, or not many plays on YouTube. Like Red Lights has only got a few hundred plays on YouTube.
Yeah. I don't think it was promoted enough.
No, it wasn't promoted enough.
I think, fans knew it was coming, but I'm not sure everybody else really was so aware of it. Yeah. And what do you think what do you think about when you listen to disc 4? I know we've already talked about the forum and Lucy was there. How does that come across to you when you hear him, like, his banter and how that was?
Yeah, I love it. It's great to get a feel of how it would have been like to be there. Obviously, it's not being there it's something completely different to listening to this, but getting a glimpse of what his live performances were like at that time. This is probably the earliest full show I've heard from Robbie.
Yeah,
this will be the earliest that they've released, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah.
Would it be safe to assume they've probably had to edit this down a bit to fit onto one disc?
I think they have. Yeah.
It's not like end to end. I think some of the banter's cut out, and
a lot of them it's maybe song to song. But the actual performances, great. I love it, and the energy that they all bring to it, you get a sense of hunger. There's hunger in their performances. Like they're playing with something to prove. That's the feeling I get of it. I love this. I love this extra edition. And I can't remember if Lucy was saying it before we started recording or during the episode, but getting a DVD with it would have been cool too, to be able to see all this stuff.
Yeah, they should have done that with it, shouldn't they? They could have fitted one more disc in there, couldn't they?
DVD, that would have been a good idea. Yeah. What we said as well, there's pretty much all of his performances are filmed. Okay, some of them we're told don't actually go to recording, but I think there's probably a lot out there that could be released. Maybe if Rob and his team are listening, maybe we're going to get some archives around the Better Man kind of promotion. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
A bit of archive footage. Even if it's only released digitally, let's have it.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Yeah, we want it. Yeah, please, Robbie, someone, if you're listening, we want this stuff. Please give it to us.
Yes.
It's all precious.
Yeah.
So, just before we wrap up this episode, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out. And also, Lucy and I would really appreciate it if you can leave us a star rating. You can do this on both Apple and Spotify podcasts. We would also love it if you could write us a short review, and you can do this on Apple. Don't forget, you can check out our episode notes for each episode and links to all tracks and videos at robbiewilliamsrewind.com. You can also email us at email@robbiewilliamsrewind.com. Please also follow and chat on our social channels. It's @RewindRobbie on Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. And you can also like and follow our Facebook page, Robbie Williams Rewind. And before we return to this episode, you might also consider sending us one of your own Robbie stories for the show. Just record a short audio clip on your phone and email it to us. Please check the website for more details. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to Robbie Williams Rewind with the Champions.
So we need to choose our favourite songs from this episode, don't we?
We certainly do. And in tradition, as you know, Ruben, we're going to come to you first. What would you like to pick from... Well, we've got to pick from this episode. That's the only constraint, although there's like 60 odd on the actual box set.
Well, there is, yeah.
What would you like to pick from our episode?
Yeah. There is a song on the tip of my tongue that I would say, but I feel like either of you are probably going to pick it. So I'm going to pick...
you pick what you want.
You go for what you want. We've always got reserves, so...
Okay. I'm going to go the Angels demo.
Cool.
Just the backstory behind it. We've been hearing about this for years. Robbie's been telling the stories. So to actually hear this and how different it is, but again, how beautiful it is in its own way. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Excellent.
Nice choice.
Matt?
You're going to make me go next, are you?
Oh, I don't mind.
Well, I've got a bit of a dilemma, right? I've got two on my list. But obviously, because some of these are rehearsals and demos, that we might have picked them before. And so I've got one that I've picked before. So am I allowed that, or do I go for something different?
It's a different version. It's up to you.
Well, it's between Average B-Side, which everybody knows that I love, and Freedom Ambient Mix.
Random.
You couldn't have two more polar opposites, right? And I know you don't like Freedom Ambient Mix, so for the sake of our marriage, do I pick Average B-Side?
It's up to you.
What do you think, Ruben? I mean, from a creative point of view, what should I pick? No, it's unfair to ask you that question.
No, just how do I put it nicely? Please, average B-side, please.
Average B-side, right? Yeah, got it. Okay, it's Average B-side. So that means it's on the playlist twice, but this is a different version. So there we go.
Okay.
Average B-side. So,
well, I'm going to go with Red Lights.
Yes.
Because it's a new song and we need to shine a light on Red Lights. And it's enjoyable to have a new song to listen to. So I'm going to go with that one. And it's also the song that he wrote, which, Hey Little Girl, he didn't write it. So
yeah, thank you for choosing it. I purposely didn't choose Red Lights hoping that one of you might. That was my real number one, but I just wanted to squeeze Angels in somewhere. So thank you, Lucy. I'm very relieved when Matt suggested Freedom Ambient Mix. I got very worried. So thank you.
Well, everyone knows what my number 2 is. So we've got Angels, Average B-Side, and Red Lights.
Yes.
Good. They'll be going on the playlist. So listeners that haven't checked it out, make sure that you go and have a look on our website. There's links to Apple playlist and Spotify playlist. And it's
on YouTube as well, the playlist.
And we compile it on YouTube as well. Yeah, you're right. So go and listen. It's a good mix of songs.
Yeah, because we've covered the whole back catalogue now, so it's sort of complete for the moment.
Kind of an album in and of itself there. So,
isn't that crazy
go and
that
listen to that playlist?
It's probably something you'll never be able to say this again. We're reviewing the first album of Robbie's career and his latest too. This is technically his latest release.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And his last.
Historic moment.
Yeah. There we go. A little bit of a random tidbit. Here we go.
Yeah. So we'll say thanks everyone for listening, and thank you especially to Ruben for joining us.
Yes, thank you, Ruben. It's been great to get an insight into your fandom from 2 years old. Incredible.
No, thank you. I really should be thanking you. Thanks for bringing me on. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to talk about this because, from the get-go, I was very passionate and excited for the idea of getting this kind of stuff. So to be the one to talk a little bit about it, it feels really cool. Thank you. And thanks for everything that you do as well. going to all this effort to make sure that Robbie has all this stuff documented. It's because of you that I started my singles collection, and you've now finished it. So you've cost me a few $100s there.
Oh God, sorry.
No. Oh, no.
Well, it was nice to see it coming together. It's nice to see you exploring the passion even more. And I remember seeing some of your pictures on Facebook when you were showing some of those singles. So that's
I don't know if I've even shared the finished collection yet.
I'll have to see that.
I'll share it when this episode comes out, and I'll try to find the pictures of me at kindergarten with my Robbie albums. They're somewhere. I need to post some proof for this.
We've got to put those out and get them on the website. Yeah. Yes, please let us have those, Ruben.
Yes,
cool.
So yeah, before we go, we kind of need to say, well, we're not really sure when or what exactly our next episode will be.
But there will be one.
Yeah,
we've got a lot on the list to cover and to do. We've just got some bookings and things that we've got to get confirmed and sorted out. So,
so we'll have interviews with people he's worked with, and hopefully there'll be more new music to talk about. When Lufthouse have released enough songs, we could do a Lufthouse episode.
Yeah, we're going to be speaking to members of the band, collaborators, songwriters, producers. We've got people, lots and lots of people who are keen to talk to us.
Yeah,
I think maybe they're slightly even more keen to talk to us since Robbie's been on the podcast.
Oh yes,
I think that helps.
Yes.
So, but that's cool. It just adds a little bit of a little bit more.
The future's very exciting for Robbie Williams Rewind.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously we will have episodes around Netflix documentary and the biopic and everything. So
yes,
that's for sure.
And we're keen to hear from you as well, listeners. So we know that everybody's out and about at the moment. Robbie Mania is going again. Everybody's out on tour. So, send us your stories, pics. Let us know what you're up to. We'd love to hear that. And, maybe we'll feature some of those on the show. We always love hearing from people. So don't be shy. We're very nice people. Do contact us. Do let us know what you're up to. Rob said he'll come back and talk to us about his new album as well.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have that. That would be amazing.
Stay tuned for that. He was very, very up for doing that. And maybe some other things with him as well. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's in the pipeline?
But if anyone out there has actually listened to every single episode and put up with us gabbling on for so many hours, then thank you.
Thank you.
You deserve a gold star.
Deep gratitude for doing that. You do deserve a gold star, actually, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for now, we'll say goodbye. And bye, Ruben, as well.
Thank you, Ruben.
Yeah.
We'll see you at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah. And enjoy the show.
Yeah, enjoy the show.
Oh, absolutely, I will. Enjoy your shows too. You've got a lot to look forward to this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me again. A lot of fun.
Okay, thanks,
right.
Ruben. Cheers.
Bye.
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 Robbie Williams Rewind.